On a quiet morning, sunlight streamed into Emma's room. 7-year-old Emma stood in front of the mirror, wearing her favorite pink ballet dress, focused on practicing her ballet steps. Her room was adorned with various dance posters, and her shelves were filled with dance books and trophies. Emma's dream was to become a professional dancer, and participating in the National Children's Dance Competition was her biggest wish. "Emma, breakfast is ready," her mom, Lisa, called from downstairs. Lisa was a busy nurse, working long hours to support the family. She was a gentle yet strong woman, always doing her best to take care of every family member. Emma dashed downstairs and saw the breakfast table set with fried eggs, toast, and a glass of orange juice. Her dad, Mike, was sitting at the table, looking a bit tired. Mike was an unemployed engineer who had been job hunting for months without success, which left him feeling very frustrated and dejected. "Good morning, Dad," Emma said cheerfully, sitting next to him. Mike forced a smile. "Good morning, sweetheart." At that moment, Emma's older brother Tommy walked into the kitchen, wearing baggy jeans and a worn-out rock band t-shirt, looking quite rebellious. He glanced at the breakfast table with disdain. "Eggs and toast again. Boring," he muttered. Lisa frowned. "Tommy, this is good enough. You know our situation, and we're lucky to have this." Just then, Grandpa Jack entered from outside, carrying the morning newspaper. Jack was a retired soldier, maintaining a strong military demeanor despite his age. He was a bit eccentric but wise and experienced, always offering sound advice at critical times. "Good morning, everyone," Jack said energetically, placing the newspaper on the table. He enjoyed reading the paper in the morning to keep up with world events. Emma suddenly remembered something and pulled an envelope from her backpack. "Mom, Dad, look," she exclaimed excitedly. "I've been selected to represent the state in the National Children's Dance Competition." The room fell silent, everyone stunned. Lisa was the first to react, hugging Emma tightly. "That's amazing, Emma. What an honor." Mike also smiled, but quickly furrowed his brow. "But how can we afford this trip? Renting an RV, travel expenses, accommodations." The family fell silent again. Emma watched their faces, feeling a bit down but trying not to show it. Jack cleared his throat. "Listen, everyone. This is Emma's dream. We can't let current difficulties stop us. We can find ways to cut costs and take it step by step." Tommy scoffed. "Do you really think we can pull this off? Look at us. It's a joke." Lisa looked firmly at Tommy. "No matter how hard it is, we have to try. Emma deserves this chance." Emma's eyes filled with tears, but she smiled bravely. "Thank you all. I believe we can do it." The family gathered around the table, discussing how to gather the funds for the trip and planning the coming days. Early Saturday morning, as the sun began to bathe the small town streets in light, Emma's family had already been busy for hours. They had rented an old RV, ready to embark on their road trip from their hometown to the city where the competition would be held. Though the RV looked a bit worn out on the outside, it was clean inside and spacious enough to accommodate the luggage and belongings of a family of 5. "We're off," Emma cheered, hopping into the RV, her face beaming with excitement and anticipation. She was wearing a bright yellow dress with a pink hair clip, radiating sunshine and energy. Mike sat in the driver's seat, taking a deep breath before starting the engine. "Everyone buckle up, the journey begins," he announced, trying to mask his nervousness with a tone of confidence. Lisa sat in the passenger seat, map in hand, and turned to remind Emma and Tommy, "Kids, remember to stay safe and don't move around too much in the RV." Tommy, sitting in the back, was holding his phone, visibly annoyed because there was no signal. "This is such a terrible idea," he muttered. "How am I supposed to survive without signal?" Jack, sitting next to Tommy, patted him on the shoulder. "Relax, kiddo. You can survive without a phone, and you might even discover some interesting things along the way." As the RV left the small town and got onto the highway, the scenery outside the windows began to change. Emma watched the endless fields and distant mountains, her heart filled with excitement. However, the atmosphere inside the RV grew tense. As the journey progressed, Lisa began to worry about her job. "I really hope there are no emergencies at the hospital. I have no idea how I'd explain this to them," she muttered to herself. Mike, gripping the steering wheel, also felt the weight of their situation. "Lisa, we have to believe in ourselves. This trip is important for Emma. We'll get through this." Tommy, sitting in the back, finally lost his patience. "This is a disaster. No phone signal. I can't even talk to my friends. I don't want to go on this trip anymore." Seeing her brother's outburst, Emma tried to keep her smile. "Tommy, please don't be like that. This trip is really important to me. I know it's hard without your phone, but we can play other games together." Jack gently patted Tommy's shoulder again. "Take it easy, kid. The journey is not just about the destination, but also about the experiences along the way. You might find that it's fun without a phone." Despite Jack's words, Tommy remained unconvinced, continuing to stare at his phone, hoping to find a signal. A few hours into the drive, Jack started coughing, and Lisa immediately noticed. "Dad, are you okay? Did you forget to take your medicine?" Jack waved her off. "I'm fine, just a bit tired. I'll be okay after a rest." Seeing his father's condition, Mike frowned. "Let's find a place to stop, so everyone can rest and we can refuel the RV." They pulled into a gas station, where Lisa helped Jack take his medicine. Tommy got out of the RV and began complaining about the food and the restroom facilities. "This place is awful. Can't we find somewhere better?" Emma tried to reassure everyone. "Don't worry. We'll be back on the road soon, and the city where the competition is will be amazing." Once they were back on the road, the atmosphere inside the RV eased a little, but everyone still carried their own worries and stress. As the journey continued, the conflicts within the RV escalated. Lisa grew more anxious about her job. Mike felt increasingly self-conscious about his unemployment. Tommy became more irritated without his phone, and Jack's health issues were a constant concern. Emma did her best to mediate between her family members, hoping to maintain harmony, but she too began to feel the pressure. As night fell, they finally found a campsite to rest. Emma gazed up at the stars, silently praying for the rest of their journey to go smoothly. After a night's rest at the campsite, Emma's family set off again. The sun was shining on the RV, seemingly promising a good day. But they had no idea that this day would be full of challenges. About 2 hours into the drive, the RV started making strange noises. Mike gripped the steering wheel, looking tense. "That doesn't sound right. Everyone hold on, we might have to stop." Sure enough, the RV soon sputtered and came to a halt on the roadside. Mike and Jack got out to check and found the engine had a serious problem. "Looks like we'll be stuck here for a while," Mike said, wiping the sweat from his forehead with a sense of resignation. Lisa grabbed the first aid kit and some water from the RV. "Kids, get out and stretch your legs. We might be here for a bit." Tommy jumped out of the RV with a scowl on his face. "Great, another lousy stop. Can you even fix this?" Jack patted Tommy on the shoulder. "Don't be so negative, Tommy. We'll solve this. It just takes time." Emma tried to lighten the mood. She pulled out her sketchbook and crayons and started drawing on the grass. "Everyone, let's draw together. It'll make the time pass faster." Despite her efforts, The engine trouble proved too difficult to fix. Mike and Jack worked tirelessly, but it was beyond their skills. "We need to call for a tow," Mike finally admitted. "We can't fix this here." They used the last bit of cell signal to contact a tow service, but it would be hours before help could arrive. As they waited, their food and water supplies dwindled, and everyone's mood worsened. Tommy couldn't contain his frustration. "This is a disaster. Why are we doing this? We've sacrificed so much for Emma's competition." Emma hung her head, tears welling up in her eyes. "I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't mean for it to be this hard." Lisa hugged Emma. "It's not your fault, Emma. We chose to support you because we love you." But Tommy wasn't pacified. He shouted angrily, "I've had enough. I'm leaving." With that, he stormed into the nearby woods, disappearing into the thick trees. Lisa panicked and started to go after him, but Jack stopped her. "Let me go," Jack said. "I know how to talk to him." Jack took a flashlight and went into the woods. He searched for a while and finally found Tommy sitting under a large tree, his head down and looking very upset. "Tommy," Jack said as he approached and sat beside him, "I know you're angry and frustrated. This trip hasn't been easy for any of us." Tommy didn't look up, only muttering, "I just think this is all so pointless. Why are we putting ourselves through this?" Jack sighed softly. "When I was young, I felt the same way about many things, but I eventually learned that family is the most important thing. Supporting each other is what really matters." Tommy looked up confused. "But is this really worth it?" Jack smiled gently. "Of course it is. Emma's dream needs our support, just like every one of our dreams needs family support. Together, we can overcome anything." Tommy was silent for a moment, then nodded. "I understand, Grandpa. I'm sorry for being so impulsive." Jack patted his back. "It's okay, kid. Let's go back. The family is waiting for us." When Jack and Tommy returned to the RV, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Although the RV wasn't fixed yet, they felt a new sense of unity and understanding. Several hours later, the tow truck finally arrived and took them to the nearest town. There, they found a small motel. It was simple, but enough for them to spend the night. That evening, they sat together, eating a modest dinner and discussing their plans for the days ahead. Despite the difficulties, a new hope was kindled in their hearts. Emma looked at her family, feeling incredibly warm inside. She knew that no matter how many challenges lay ahead, as long as they were together, they could overcome anything. After several days of arduous travel, Emma's family finally arrived in the bustling metropolis where the competition was being held. Despite the numerous problems they had encountered with the RV, they had persevered and reached their destination. Exhausted but filled with hope, they gazed at the city's dazzling lights. They found an economical motel, simple but much more comfortable than the RV. As Lisa checked them in, Emma clung to her hand, her eyes brimming with both excitement and anxiety. "Mom, we really made it," Emma whispered, her voice tinged with disbelief. Lisa smiled and hugged her. "Yes, sweetie, we made it. Tomorrow is your big day." Once they were in their room, everyone quickly unpacked. Mike and Jack decided to prepare dinner, opting for something simple and homey. "Tonight, we rest well and recharge for tomorrow," Mike said as he cooked spaghetti. Tommy sat on the bed, texting his friends to share stories of their journey. Despite his rebellious nature, he was full of support for Emma. After dinner, the family gathered together, enjoying a rare moment of tranquility. Emma looked around at her family, feeling a deep sense of warmth. However, as the night grew quiet, a wave of pressure suddenly hit Emma. She lay in bed, silent tears streaming down her face, fearing that she might disappoint her family if she didn't win the competition. What if I fail? They've sacrificed so much for me. How can I let them down? She kept asking herself. Quietly, she got up and walked to the window, staring at the city lights. Suddenly, she heard soft footsteps behind her. Turning around, she saw Grandpa Jack standing in the doorway. "Emma, why aren't you asleep yet?" Jack asked gently, walking over to her. Emma wiped her tears. "Grandpa, I'm scared. I'm afraid I'll fail tomorrow and let everyone down." Jack looked at her with understanding. "Emma, the outcome of the competition isn't what's most important. What matters is that you have the courage to pursue your dreams. We're proud of you not because of what you win, but because you have that courage." Tears welled up in Emma's eyes again. "But everyone has sacrificed so much for me." At that moment, Lisa, Mike, and Tommy came over, having heard their conversation. "Emma," Lisa said, "everything we've done is not about you winning. It's about you chasing your dreams. That's what truly matters." Mike nodded. "Exactly, sweetheart. No matter what happens tomorrow, we'll always be proud of you." Tommy stepped forward and put his arm around Emma's shoulder. "You're amazing already, sis. What counts is enjoying the process, not the result." Surrounded by her family, Emma felt a wave of support and love. The fear and pressure in her heart slowly faded away. "Thank you all," Emma said, choking up. "I'll do my best, no matter what." The next morning, as sunlight poured through the window, Emma woke up full of confidence, ready to face her competition. She knew that regardless of the outcome, she had a family who loved and supported her, and that was her greatest treasure. On the day of the competition, the sun shone brightly, and Emma was filled with a mixture of excitement and nerves. She wore her sparkling dance costume, standing backstage, waiting for her turn. The stage lights glowed, and the sound of music filled the arena, creating an atmosphere of excitement. Emma took a deep breath and glanced back at her family. They were seated in the audience, cheering her on. Her dad, Mike, Mom, Lisa, brother Tommy, and Grandpa Jack were all there, and she felt a powerful wave of support. When the announcer called her name, Emma walked onto the stage with determined steps. She began her performance, dancing to the rhythm of the music with her best ballet moves. Her movements were light and graceful, her dance fluid and captivating. The audience was entranced by her performance, and the only sounds in the arena were the music and her dance steps. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. Emma forgot all her nerves and pressure, completely absorbed in the dance. She was like a free butterfly, fluttering gracefully across the stage. Every spin and leap showcased her talent and hard work. When the music ended, Emma struck a final elegant pose, and the audience erupted in applause. People stood up to cheer for her, and her family clapped enthusiastically. A radiant smile spread across Emma's face, and she knew that no matter the outcome, she had given her all. After the competition, the judges announced the winners. Although Emma didn't win the top prize, her performance earned the judges' admiration and won the hearts of the audience. She received a special award for her outstanding performance and bravery in the competition. As Emma stepped off the stage, her family rushed to her side. Lisa hugged her tightly. "You were amazing, Emma. We're so proud of you." Mike smiled warmly. "You did great, sweetheart. No matter the result, you're our star." Tommy put his arm around her shoulders. "You're a little superstar. I knew you could do it." Jack patted her head. "You showed real courage and talent. That's what truly matters." Emma felt the love and support from her family, tears of joy filling her eyes. "Thank you all. Thank you for always supporting me." On the way back, the family chatted happily, sharing stories from the journey. The past conflicts and tensions seemed to heal during this trip, and they learned to understand and support each other better. Mike, holding the steering wheel, smiled lightly. This trip was tough, but we learned a lot and became closer as a family. Lisa nodded. Yes, we went through so much, but the most important thing is that we're together. Tommy, no longer complaining, began to enjoy every moment of the trip. I think I've really learned a lot. Jack gazed out the window at the passing scenery, reflecting. Family is our strongest support. As long as we're united, no challenge can defeat us. Emma looked at the sunset outside, feeling incredibly warm inside. She had learned the importance of pursuing her dreams and realized that her family's love and support were her greatest treasures. As they drove into the twilight, united and stronger, they knew they could face whatever the future held together.